What's going on, buddy? Welcome to today's YouTube video. It's a little after 6 a.m. and first thing in the morning, we gotta go cold plunge. So let's go ahead and jump in. The hard part is it's slowly getting darker and darker in the morning, so it's gonna be more and more challenging as we get deeper into the rest of the year, into obviously the winter time, because right now it is already like 71 degrees, but the cold plunge in the dark when it's already cold, that's the difficult stuff. This is still hard, but that's way more difficult. But let's go ahead and jump in, and I'll talk to you guys when we get in the cold plunge. Alrighty, we got 3 minutes this morning, 47 degrees. Let's jump in. I swear, it never gets any easier, but I feel like I get better at it, kind of just accepting it and mentally preparing, or I think I do. Then you get in and it's just like, it's colder than you thought it was gonna be, colder than your body thought, but go ahead and breathe. I will say, talking to you guys makes this go by so much faster because I'm sitting here in silence in the dark, like 6 a.m. It makes it a lot harder versus talking to you guys. I just don't even think about the time. Just gotta make sure I still breathe. But as far as last video, I think I mentioned the title was like never bulking again, and some people thought it was like clickbait, but it truly is my intention to never bulk again in the traditional sense of add as much size as possible in a period of time, right? As far as like, if there's some body fat, sure, go ahead and roll with it. Our goal is just muscle mass. And that is no longer my goal. This is kind of a phase that I honestly want all my clients to get to, and kind of I'm in right now, where I would consider this what I call the thrive phase, where I've done a cut. Well, obviously I've built some muscle over years, and that's one big thing. You still need to have some muscle, but built some muscle over multiple bulk and cut cycles, did a solid cut, got to a body fat percentage that I was very pleased with, a look that I enjoy, and I'm maintaining it, but with more calories, with more flexibility, with more freedom, and also the ability to then focus on other things, right? So Katie and I are picking up a puppy in literally 3 days, which is crazy to think about. So my kind of, I would say, time constraints, my goals, and my focus is gonna shift a little bit from trying to be, I would say, in like the best peak physical shape I can, to then once again trying to manage running a business, growing my business, of course with my work with my clients, and then also getting a new puppy and training that puppy. So I will still be going to the gym 100%. I'll still be focusing on my overall health, but now I have a little more flexibility to maybe, okay, my sleep might suffer for a week or two, or maybe 3 weeks while we have the puppy. I will have other responsibilities outside of just trying to grow my business, right, and work. I will have another a life form to raise, things like that. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing there is I have choices now, right? I have flexibility, I have freedom to do what I want. And I think a big thing there is I also have some other physical goals, or like a skill-based thing. So as far as getting into running, I want to get back into some calisthenics, some handstand work, things like that. One unfortunate thing is my right foot is a little messed up. I think it might be turf toe, or maybe like a very slight stress fracture. I would have to get an x-ray to confirm that, but just overall taking some time off from like running and very, very high step counts for now, letting my right foot heal up a little bit. But as far as some other things, I am back into barbell benching. You guys saw that in last week's video. I'm gonna basically try to come up with, probably the next week or so, just some other kind of goals. Oh wow, it flew by. Some other goals I want to achieve in terms of, let's say, like, I don't know, whether it be like running like a mile in a certain time, or running like just a half marathon, or things like that too, because I don't have the goal to get as big as possible. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't have that kind of like long-term, like, oh, build up and cut down for a show. It's more so, okay, hey, like, I like how I look, I like how I feel, now let's go ahead and do cool things, essentially, but also enjoy how I train. So I'm gonna do a quick head dunk for funsies, and yeah, then we need to go inside and get to work. Then we've got the AM post cold plunge physique check. Skin's a little red. We're back inside, dried off, changed, and as far as these videos, I know most of you guys are here just for the health and fitness stuff, which will of course be the majority of the video. But whenever I say like I'm doing work, I feel like I don't really explain what that looks like, and I feel like sometimes people ask me questions or are curious about that. So typically I kind of break up my day into 3 main work blocks. So the first work block is gonna be that kind of like 6:30 till about 9:30 until I head to the gym. And that's gonna be more so like kind of like, I don't call it deep work because it's not like super, super deep, but it's like more so quiet work, individual work, content work. So right now there's CapCut up, as well as my files and editing software, so I can manage or plan the month ahead. So right now my goal is, typically I don't do client calls first thing in the morning, typically because other people aren't awake yet, or I just want to make sure I get some of my other stuff done before I actually have like client calls and check-ins later in the day. So in the morning, for the first, I would say 3 hours of my workday, from like I said, maybe 6:30 till 9:30-ish, somewhere in that range, it's all about kind of content planning, content creation, editing, let's see, emails occasionally, brands that I'm working with, like whatever else might need to be done. But I would say 90% of the time it is editing. So whether it be short form reels or long-term YouTube videos, long form YouTube videos, it is editing, it's creating content, it's editing those reels, scheduling those reels, posting those reels. I try to post at least daily right now and 2 YouTube videos a week. And the majority of my mornings are spent either writing that content, filming that content, or editing that content. And then basically I'll go to the gym 4 days a week. Well, I guess 3 days during the week and then 2 days on the weekend. But basically on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'll go to the gym around that 9:30 mark, work out for around an hour, come home. And then the second work block, which is typically from 10:30 or 11 when I come home, I eat. So like 11 till, let's say, 2 or 3 p.m., that's all client work. So that's client check-ins, client meetings, client calls. I'll take a break around 2:30, maybe go for a walk, and then I'll typically come back and finish up client calls and whatever else I need to get done. So as you guys can see right here, but yeah, basically this is where I spend most of my day. If I'm not at the gym, and also I even will pull my walking pad and walk as I do work, I spend probably 10 hours a day in front of this computer right now. And it's just kind of what it takes to make all the content you guys see on a consistent basis, as well as obviously the coaching actual business that I'm working on, which is a big chunk of time, actually probably the majority of the time, and then content as well. But I'd really say, like, time-wise, it's probably 50-50 as far as what I spend time on in terms of like content stuff, marketing, reels, YouTube videos, editing, and actual like client calls, potential client calls, and client work. So in that regard, yeah, these first 3 hours of the day are going to be more so focused on content. Got a couple of reels I need to make. My goal is to get all of my August content already kind of like prepped, ready, and essentially scheduled. So then when August rolls around, we have the puppy, I have all that taken care of. So this week's been a little bit crazier, a lot more work on the content side of things with trying to get all that set up for August. But at the same time, I know it'll kind of free up a little more headspace, a little more time for the puppy and my clients in August. So it's worth it. But let's go ahead and dive in. See you guys before I head to the gym. First work block done, is now time to head to the gym. Also, I did throw on sweatpants and a hoodie because post cold plunge, if I don't go for a nice long walk, I actually stay kind of cold. So since we went right to work, I actually threw this on to help me warm up a little bit. Now we've got our pre-workout snack, and this is the go-to. I really don't have any plans to change this specifically going forward at all. My other meals, I might actually do a little bit more meal prep going forward, but this, rice cakes, 2 chocolate rice cakes. These are just the Quaker ones. We've got some peanut butter and a banana. So some peanut butter on there, 20 grams, 10 grams per rice cake, and then a banana cut up and put up on top, make it look all nice. Also be pairing that with a white Monster for some caffeine. So this is pretty much the pre-workout snack, nectar of the gods, and as well as a nice little pump product as far as the carbs go. So that's gonna be our pre-workout meal. I headed to the gym, and today we have a back and shoulders workout. I've also tweaked my workout a little bit as I finish the cuts. I'll go over that change. Actually, I think there will be like 1 or 2 changes today because I still love the weighted pull-ups, the T-bar rows. I think I went from trying to think, machine shoulder press, maybe a dumbbell shoulder press. I think that might be the one big change. And everything else I've really still been enjoying. So I'm gonna keep those in the program. But obviously film that workout, take you guys through it, progress photos as well, or physique check at the end. And we'll talk about kind of, yeah, a little bit more on my plan, my progress so far, what my goals are going forward. I wrote down a few of those as well, so we can go over that. But without further ado, we'll head to the gym. Also, before we go, just gotta plug my cookbook, jackedcookbook.com. If you're looking for a system to help you lose weight in the next 90 days, which trust me, it's not too late to still lose some weight by the end of 2025, check out jackedcookbook.com. It takes my already amazing 120 high protein, low calorie meals and adds 5 bonuses, turning it into a true fat loss system. So it's not just a cookbook, it walks you through how to find your macros, how to determine your calories, how to track those calories, how to lose weight in the next 90 days, a kickstart guide, everything you need to make an amazing transformation in more of a do-it-yourself format. If you do want some one-on-one coaching, let me know. We can kind of discuss that too. But jackedcookbook.com for the entire system, my cookbook recipes. Now let's head to the gym. Just made it to the gym.
going to go over the actual workout with you guys real quick. I'll throw it up somewhere over here, took a screenshot. So we're still doing weighted pull-ups. That is not changing. Let's see, dumbbell shoulder press. So instead of doing a machine shoulder press, we're going to do dumbbell shoulder press. Honestly, just kind of changing it up. I want to kind of hopefully work my way back up to maybe 95 or 100 pound dumbbells on shoulder press. I think that'd be awesome while maintaining a lean physique. Keeping the T-bar rows, absolutely love that machine. Keeping the cable lateral raises, because we got dumbbell lateral raises on my Saturday workout with Chris. Then we're adding in a cable pull down. Then also, instead of doing a reverse fly, we're gonna do face pulls at the end. So essentially, yeah, as far as that goes, cable pull downs will be an exercise added in. Face pulls will be a substitution. Also, I think I might do dumbbell shrugs and a superset between the face pulls and the dumbbell shrugs. I haven't really done direct trap work in a long time. I kind of actually do want to bring up my traps a little bit. So we'll go ahead, throw in some dumbbell shrugs for the traps, see how that feels. Two sets of everything. But yeah, no major changes, more so just small substitutions. The general program, my 5-day split, is still the same. Really enjoying that kind of frequency of 3 workouts during the week, 2 on the weekend. And yeah, we can go ahead and get into it. But yeah, feeling good. Got a little bit of my monster left, so we're gonna polish this off, get some good vibes going with some music, and then we'll go ahead and hit this workout. Just finished up the workout, solid back and shoulders day. Unfortunately, the gym got a little bit busier, so I did not film the shrugs. I did do those, but just instead of moving the camera around while I was doing the superset, the dumbbell area got pretty crowded, so moved aside and also did some posing in a new position, but still try to recreate similar lighting to compare basically past physique checks to the current one. But really liking how I'm feeling, how I'm looking. It's one of those things where at the end of a cut, you don't realize kind of you are running on a little bit less fuel than you kind of maybe think. You had a little bit less energy. And as you bring those calories back up, do a proper reverse diet and get to your maintenance phase again, how much better you'll feel with a little bit extra calories. So as far as that goes, we can kind of take a look at Happy Scale, which I'll continue to do and track even in a maintenance phase. So you can see for the most part of July, I've been in that maintenance phase. Weight has fluctuated a little bit, but overall my average has only changed about 0.2 to 0.1 times per week. And right now we've kind of leveled out right around 165.3 on average. And if we actually go to the month as a whole, we can see my weight's actually only changed 0.1 pounds in the last 30 days, which is exactly what we want to see at the end of a reverse diet as we enter a maintenance phase. And when I say maintenance, I don't mean like I'm pulling back on my training. If anything, I'm actually training harder. It just means my goal is to maintain my current weight, not that I'm trying to, pull things back in the gym or not focus on my diet as much. I mean the exact same foods I was, just more of them. The same high quality foods 90 to 95% of the time, just more of them. That is a key difference too. When you think you finish a fat loss phase and you can go back to your old habits because you did the work, that's not the case, right? We want to build sustainability during the fat loss phase. So basically the only thing that changes when you're done with your quote unquote fat loss phase is you eat more calories. You should still work out, should still get your steps in, should still train, stay hydrated, focus on high quality food, and now you just get to do that with more food and more fuel to then obviously get stronger and support your lifestyle. So as you guys can see though right now, my weight still fluctuates. Throughout the month of July, I still went up as high as 167, as low as 164. So be aware that your weight will still fluctuate even at your maintenance phase. It'll not be 165 every single morning. Don't freak out if the weight spikes up or goes down. The goal there is to track over time, and obviously this shows me that the last month or so, I've been right at my maintenance. My weight's only changed 0.1 pounds last 30 days. I've been consuming about 25 to 2,600 calories a day and maybe 3,000 plus day on the weekends with maybe some ice cream or a dinner out with some family and friends. So I know my maintenance is probably right around 2,700 calories with that social refeed. But of course, I'm going to go a little bit below that and have that one kind of social refeed or free, not I want to say free day because I actually do track it, one slightly higher calorie day on the weekend. And that's kind of what's been working really well for me. And like I said in the cold plunge this morning, going forward, my goal is more so, I would say, kind of skill-based and number-based going forward. I actually did write down a few goals. And these are like very ambitious goals. These are not something that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I can do this in the next week or so. But let's see here. I wrote these down. Where are they? Okay, like business goals, personal goals, fitness goals. So essentially, I want to maintain the level of leanness I have, which I'm estimating maybe around 12% body fat right now, and slowly increase things. So I kind of went with some cardio goals, some calisthenics goals, some strength goals, and I wrote down all of these. I'll go ahead and maybe screenshot them as we go. So some fitness goals. I even said like resting heart rate between 40 to 50 beats per minute, max heart rate 220, some cardio goals in there, some calisthenics ones, then I have some strength and power. And I will say, like, I've never even done like a clean and jerk or snatch, but I was like, oh, that'd be something cool to work towards. Speed, other things. So these are just like kind of things that I want to be able to do in the future, right? Not in this next several months, not even next several years, because some of these are really, really challenging, or maybe hopefully in the next several years. But like a 315 bench, I've never hit that unless I've been upwards of like 180 pounds. Same thing with the squat. I don't even deadlift right now, so I might do an RDL instead of a deadlift. But little things like that, where I want to have some strength goals, some power goals, and these are things to work on, right? And kind of like check the list as I go and obviously maintain those skills. And this is kind of the fun stuff, right? Rather than just trying to lose body fat and get in a healthier position, I now have more, I would say, skill-based and fitness-based goals rather than just, let's say, physique goals, which I think I'm in a place where I'm very comfortable with. But as far as something that I think you guys can take away is one of the hardest places, or one I think the worst places for guys to be in, is what they call like the region beta or region beta paradox, where you're just kind of okay, right? You're just in the middle. And I might be able to throw up like a little bit of like, what's it called, a depiction or kind of image of what I'm referring to, where things aren't too bad, but they're also not great, right? Just like with a job or a salary position that you have, and that was me with my engineering job until I was like, enough is enough. Like I had a good job, I had a stable salary, I was getting paid well, and I just was okay, right? I wasn't actually doing what I wanted to do. I was listening to podcasts about health and fitness while I was at work, but it wasn't bad enough where I was like, oh, I wasn't like, I don't know, $45,000, $50,000 a year hating my job. I was getting paid very well, just wasn't doing something I was passionate about. And I could have stayed stuck there for 30 or 40 years. But I think the thing that a lot of guys are with, whether it be their job, career, relationships, or specifically health and fitness, which is my area of expertise, is that they're so okay or surround themselves with other people that are also, let's say, 20, 25 pounds overweight, that they're just kind of in this range where it's not harming their health, right? Their doctor not saying you're going to die in a year or two if you don't correct this, but they also don't look and feel like they could if they put a little more effort in. So they're kind of in this region beta or region beta, whatever you call it, I think beta, region beta paradox, where it's like, okay, like, yeah, I can make a change, but it's probably not worth the time and energy. I'm not that overweight. I just don't feel comfortable in my skin. And there's being like, okay with this mediocrity and this kind of just like average existence, when it'd almost be better if they were extremely overweight or extremely unhappy with how they looked, because then actually make a change and do something about it. So if you're in that position, just like think about what you could unlock or what you could actually do with a little bit more effort. And I'm not saying, like, I think they also, a lot of guys will, or anyone, a lot of people will think it requires a lot more energy and effort to make a change than they might think, right? They see these people doing like going to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours every day, doing tons of cardio. Like, you do not need to do that. Realistically, majority of my clients only are in the gym for maybe 3 to 4 hours a week total. That's it. They're only focused on steps. They're not running. They're not doing any dedicated cardio. They're just working to increase their steps, and they can make amazing transformations. So I think a big thing is, at times the health and fitness industry make things look so hard and like the barrier to entry is so high when it's really not. And that kind of prevents people from doing anything about it because they're once again in that like okay or mediocrity. And they're like, okay, yeah, no, it's enough. I can't go to the gym 6 days a week. I can't only eat chicken, broccoli, and rice out of Tupperware containers. I'm okay with being 20 pounds or 25 pounds overweight. When if you actually realize and do the work, like, it is a lot easier than that. It's not as kind of complicated or as time consuming or suffering focused. It's a lot more on enhancing your life. And yes, there'll be a time when you have to watch your calories and track, but the barrier to entry is not as high as you think. It does not take as much work as you think. And that region beta or region beta paradox is just something where I think a lot of guys get stuck in, not only health and fitness, but career-wise, earning potential, work-wise, relationships. And we need to kind of get out of that and realize we need to unlock our potential and realize that's not always as hard as we think or as complicated as we think. And if it's the people around us that are making us feel like it's okay to be that way, then maybe you should change your environment and look for someone who's going to push you or a group of people that are trying to level up rather than just stay okay. Once again, it's not for everyone. Some people, hey, like, there's no reason for like me to kind of push this on you, but if it's something you've been thinking about, then definitely do so and make a change. But if you're okay, like, hey, more power to you. If you're okay being 20 pounds overweight, sure, why not? Like, it has to be something that you want to do. No one can want it as much or more than you. If you don't want it enough, nothing's going to happen. So yeah, that's just one thing I was thinking about the other day. I just want to kind of spitball about that. We need to head home. I literally just got sweaty in my car to turn my car off. So we're going to turn my car back on, head home, need a post-workout meal, we need a shower. Our post-workout meal has been made. Quick, simple, effective. We got some eggs. So this is actually 250 grams of egg whites and then 3 whole eggs cooked in just a little bit of butter and then a serving of low-fat cheese on top. We also have a bell pepper. This was a full bell pepper. I've been eating that as the eggs were cooking, and some strawberries. And also we've been doing some rearranging. So as you guys can see, we have a little crate and playpen because we are getting Margot this weekend. So I will just say, disclaimer right now, if you guys are watching this channel, if you don't like cute golden retriever puppies, then go ahead and unsubscribe now. If you do like them, then stay subscribed, or subscribe if you haven't already, because there's gonna be a lot of puppy content going forward because we pick her up this weekend and she's gonna be a huge part of my life, Kitty's life, and the channel going forward too. So definitely, I'm super excited. We got all of her stuff. We got some toys. We've got just, yeah, very, very excited. So we're gonna head up there in just 3 days and pick her up because we're actually going to Cleveland to actually pick her up from the same breeder Katie's parents or Katie's families. She'll call them her dogs, just like I would call Maisie my dog. Her dogs are from, which is super exciting too. And they're actually gonna be Margot's great uncles. Her 2 dogs, Cooper and Oakley, are gonna be Margot's great uncles because basically it's Margot's grandma is Cooper and Oakley's sister. I know it's kind of crazy, roundabout way, but very excited. So without further ado, I need to eat this. I'm gonna shower afterwards. Yeah, but Margot is, we're so excited. Like, I literally can't stop smiling thinking about it. We got to meet her about 2 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago, and we get to pick her up in just a couple days. So without further ado, I think that's everything. Post-workout meal, shower, I probably need to shave too, and then just back to work. Also, before we jump in the shower, just want to get a quick shout out to Beast Mode Soap. This is the body soap I've been using for the last couple of months, and I feel like it's really kind of brought my skin back to life as far as rehydrating it, because I've not always been the best with my skincare and always haven't been the best about showering post-workout. But now with this added in my routine, I feel like my skin's come back to life. It's made with natural ingredients, only 2 or 3 ingredients per bar of soap, no seed oils, no artificial fragrances, anything like that, and yet it still smells really good. So this is the 4-pack. You can see here we got Paleo Pine, Forest Ash, Unscented, and
and lemon leaf. I actually used all 3 of these and just onto lemon leaf now, but you can still smell, or I guess lemon leaf in the box. I'm actually using forest ash actually right now. But even like without the artificial fragrances, it still smells amazing. And the big thing there, it's beef tallow based, and like I said, just 2 to 3 ingredients. I think if you're gonna put something on your body on a daily basis, it should be of the highest quality, hence why I partnered with them for obviously the ad as well as the actual bars of soap that I'm using. So if you guys do wanna check out the bars of soap for yourself, get a 4-pack, variety pack like this, head to beastmodesoap.com and use code Perez10 at checkout to save 10% on this amazing soap. Like I said, it smells good. Katie even likes the scent of it, which is great, but Beast Mode Soap, check it out. Now that we are showered and shaved, it's time to get back to work. So work block number 2, like I mentioned before, is mostly client work. So we've got some check-ins going down. So mostly client-facing work for the next 3 hours. Then we'll take a little bit of a break. Maybe just have that protein shake is typically what that break is. Maybe walk outside and come back. So typically it's anywhere from like 3-hour blocks. Occasionally I might get in a zone and extend one of those blocks to 4 or 5 hours. Or when I don't work out, that morning block is normally 4 or 5 hours before the other 2 blocks later in the day. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead, just be at this desk for a while. Might break out the walking pad, but it is a pretty nice day out, so I'll probably just wait until we can actually get outside for a longer walk, because I still wanna get about 8,000 steps a day, even if my foot is, let's say, what's the right word? I don't know, it's not like completely injured, but it just doesn't feel right. I feel like there's something off, and occasionally it does feel like there's something wrong. So I wanna make sure I get my steps in, I wanna make sure I move, but just take things very light. No running, no high impact, but it is more so steps for my own sanity and get outside rather than stay at a desk all day. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get to work. I'll see you guys at the second break of the day, the protein shake and walk outside. Crazy to me how with the magic of editing, that 3-hour work block just disappeared like that. Snap my fingers and here we are with our protein shake. So this protein shake right here is a go-to. This is always consistent. This is something I have every single day. So what it actually is, we're gonna have some almond milk. So we got this 30-calorie unsweetened Almond Breeze almond milk. We have 1 frozen banana. Those are not frozen, but we do have some frozen bananas. We have a little bit of that peanut butter we had from earlier. So we got this guy right here. We got 10 grams of that just for the flavor. That's really all I'm going for in that smoothie. And we got 2 scoops of protein. So this is the dark chocolate. I'll actually put this guy back up. 2 scoops of protein, getting that up to, I think actually, I have that one up here. 28 grams of protein for 140 calories right there, boom. So this shake, also, I did take my creatine. I just take that with water, so that's simple. But within the protein shake itself, we have over 60 grams of protein between the almond milk, peanut butter, protein, and banana. This is 61 grams of protein. I think, I'm like 99% sure. 61 grams of protein, and it just tastes amazing. So this is a daily staple for me. Even when I travel, I'll take little, they have these on-the-go protein things. Where are these? Hopefully this is it. Yeah, awesome. So they have these little this is technically a variety pack, but what actually happens is in each one of these, it's an individual, individual bag of protein. So I'll take these when I travel because they're super convenient. So I actually have a couple variety packs that I use strictly for travel. Now it does come with 5 different flavors, so you do have to be okay with changing flavors, but it's super convenient rather than putting it like basically either taking the entire thing or putting in Ziploc baggies. They have individual variety packs, so I'll take those when I travel, super convenient. Of course, if I'm driving somewhere, I'll just take a tub of protein. But as the, let's say midday snack is a protein shake. Now I'm gonna go for a nice walk outside. It's a little warm, so might break a sweat, but I just need to get outside, get moving, get out of my desk, come back home, get back to work. And then tonight, I think we're gonna be going to look at some cars for Katie. Katie needs a new car. So at some point, I'll probably have to change, put on just like, I don't know, throw on a polo or some khakis, something like that, and figure out exactly when we're gonna do that and when we have that last meal. But until she gets home from work in a couple hours, it's just protein shake, walk, and then back to work myself. And we are back at our desk for session number 3 of the day. This is basically until Katie gets home from work, and then we'll figure out what we need to do as far as going to the car dealership, looking at some cars and things like that. So until then, I do have a call here in literally 5 minutes. So this is gonna be a quick update, but it was very hot out on the walk. I ended up going shirtless, which I highly recommend. Get some sun, obviously get a nice little sweat going, and of course get vitamin D and work on that tan too. But went on a nice long walk, did a podcast, walked for about 45 minutes, felt amazing. And yeah, let's just say it's warm. I'm gonna have to shower again tonight no matter what. That same thing used to happen when I used to work out in the morning. I'd work out first thing in the morning, shower first thing in the morning, go to work,
and I'd still shower at night. So that was kind of always, I was kind of used to doing 2 showers a day. So that'll be the case. But yeah, back to work. Like I said, okay, now 4 minutes to my call. So I'm gonna go ahead and log on to discuss things with Omar. Also shout out Tim. Tim, if you're watching this, Tim is officially under 160, which means he's over 40 pounds down. And the first time, I think he said 30 years since he's been at this level of leanness and this low of body fat. So that's awesome for him. Shout out to Tim, just happened today. But yeah, let's get to work. And then when Katie gets home, we'll stop. Katie's home, eating some food real quick before we head over to the car dealership to look at cars. What I'm gonna be doing actually is eating some blueberries and then probably actually grabbing Chick-fil-A. So essentially, with us leaving on Friday afternoon and not being home till Sunday, I did grocery shopping for, I think it was, at the time, it was like 4 nights of food or 4 dinners worth of food. So there's one day I knew I was gonna have to eat out, so I didn't kind of like either overbuy, or I'm honestly kind of under the assumption we might go out to eat at least one time during the week, and we have not yet. So I'm gonna save the steak I have for tomorrow and go ahead and just grab Chick-fil-A on the way to the car dealership tonight. So I'll show you guys what I get, but I'll probably get the Cool Wrap and some grilled nuggets with some buffalo sauce. And then my micronutrients to go with dinner will be these this big bowl of blueberries. And I'll even grab a kiwi too, we'll kind of see. But that is gonna be kind of just like, I guess, a wrap on the at-home stuff because we'll probably just go to the car dealership. I think they close at 8, so we do have some time to get over there, look at things, get some numbers, some quotes, all that kind of good stuff, and then come back here and just like essentially shower and go to bed. Did change a little bit just to honestly just present myself a little better rather than just like t-shirt and shorts. We're gonna down these blueberries, finish up some work while Katie finishes up eating, and then we'll go ahead, pick up Chick-fil-A on the way to the dealership, eat that, look at cars, then come home. After a little bit of car shopping, no final purchases made. We got some good information. Stopped by Chick-fil-A, like I said earlier. We got our not Chick-fil-A wrap, the Cool Wrap in there. Biggest thing there, it comes with like, do you know what sauce it is?
Ranch.
Avocado ranch lime? Or just avocado ranch?
I don't know.
Yeah, some sort of very creamy, high calorie sauce. So what we're actually gonna do is replace that sauce with some zesty buffalo. So we got the Cool Wrap with some zesty buffalo sauce, as well as a little more protein, 6 grilled nuggets, and some more zesty buffalo sauce.
8 grilled nuggets.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, this is 8. I think it's 8.
Does it come with 8?
Yeah, 8 count. 8 count. Okay, yeah, 8 count grilled nuggets. So these two combined, I think I did I ordered this at one point. It was like maybe 400 to 500 calories and like 60 grams of protein. So this is a great meal right here for me, honestly, like replacing my steak dinner I normally have. So we're gonna go ahead, eat this real quick, head on home. Katie got a diet lemonade. And I think that kind of wraps up the day. Anything else? No, yeah, we're gonna head home, shower, go to bed, read, then go to bed. So yeah, that kind of wrap things up here. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this before we start driving. Without further ado, I'll wrap things up. I think that I talked enough throughout the video. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys next time. Peace.